In this video, we're going over how to apply for the $10,000 grant through the SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. And so in this video, we're going to go through how exactly to fill out every line of the application. Amanda here, you're watching The Business Finance Coach, where I simplify all these technicalities of business and life, because I truly believe that the world needs what you have to offer, and you should not be held down by these technicalities and instead be supported by them in our civilized society. So let's jump into applying for the $10,000 grant through the SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. So this is a disaster loan that's been in place through the SBA.gov, and right now there's a $10,000 advance that has been turned into a grant, and all of my self-employed 1099 workers qualify. All sorts of small businesses qualify. So it's worth filling out this loan application for small businesses, because even if you don't qualify for the loan, you will end up getting the grant within 3 days, as long as they have funds and as long as you certify and swear that you qualify, meaning that you need the money and you are a small business. So a business has to be small, which means 500 employees or less. They count full-time, part-time, everyone the same. There is an exception for certain small businesses like restaurants, where they are doing the count based on the location. And if you have a bigger business like that, you may want to schedule a meeting with someone. I do these types of consultations. So I know this might sound confusing. It's a grant that you don't have to pay back from a loan, huh? So all of this information is clearly stated right on the SBA's website. And when you fill out this application, you're not actually like certifying a loan. They're going to get back to you with what you qualify for. And basically, this is just the mechanism that the SBA had in place to get grants out to people. So if you need the money, you can literally fill out this application while watching this video. I go through every question, and you're not committing to any sort of loan, but you may get up to $10,000 deposited into your bank account within 3 days. And you may have an offer for a loan that you have no pressure to take. Okay, so you want to head to the SBA.gov, and you can click Learn More to see all the different programs. I have other videos that go over all the different aspects. So in this video, I'm just going to focus right in on the application. So we can see the yellow bar across the top, COVID-19, apply for an economic injury disaster loan. Click here. That's where we're going to go to jump into the application. Now, they've really streamlined this. You can definitely read through all of this, and they just explain what's happening and that you're going to self-certify. Now, there are very big fines if you, for example, say you need this money when you don't. If you have not had economic loss and therefore you do something with it like invest, you should actually need this money because you've lost the money and you need it to pay expenses. So down here under eligibility entity verification, this is where you select who you are. Are you an applicant as a business with not more than 500 employees? So that would apply if you are not an individual who operates under a sole proprietor, with or without employees, or an independent contractor. This is my self-employed people, right? But what if you're a single member LLC? Which one would you choose? You would choose applicant as a business with not more than 500 employees. Now, all of the options below are very specific, like an employee stock ownership plan, a cooperative. So you need to read through these and check them, assuring that they don't apply to you. You can't be engaged in illegal behavior. An owner, more than 50%, can't be more than 60 days behind on their child support. Not any of these types of agricultural farming businesses. The business isn't related to sexual products or sexual nature. More than a third of the business income can't be related to gambling. The applicant can't lobby Congress or any public officials. The applicant cannot be a state, local, municipal government or a member of Congress. Once you meet these criteria, we can continue. You can contact the SBA here. However, I've heard that it's very difficult to get through. Now you can see the items with the red is where information is recorded. This is your business legal name. So if you have an LLC, that's where your LLC name goes. If you filed a DBA, your DBA is the next name. So we'll say our LLC name is Legal Biz Name LLC. Our trade name is Legal B. They're saying to provide an EIN number if you have it, a social security number if you do not. Now it's asking us what type of business are we. If you're a single member LLC, LLC. If you haven't formed any business that you see listed here, then you select sole proprietorship. If your LLC has elected S Corp, then you will select S Corp because it's listed, okay? If you're not a nonprofit, you'll say no. Not a franchise, no. Gross revenues for 12 months prior to the date of the disaster. January 31st, 2020. You want to have some sort of record, accounting record, where you keep track of all of your income and expenses. If you haven't done this yet, now's a great time to do it. You want to be able to look at your past 12 months. So you would have one of these worksheets for 2019, one for 2020. So this is asking what your total revenue is for the last 12 months prior to January 31st, 2020. So this is where you want to go take a look at your accounting records. If you have a bookkeeper, you could ask them for your reports. If you don't have anything put together, you could download my free spreadsheet template and use it to get your records caught up quickly. So they're asking for gross revenues for the total 12 months prior to January 31. So that's your total income before expenses. So on my worksheet, there's an income section, regardless of if you're doing a bank reconciliation or just a basic income statement. And you would have one for 2019 and 2020. Now, cost of goods sold is only going to apply if you sell products, okay? So you may be able to put 0 here, okay? See how it takes 0, it turns to green. The next items you're going to fill in as applicable. Rental properties, loss of rents due to the disaster. So they just want to know the rents that you have not received because of the disaster. This is for a non-profit, right? So we're going to skip that. That doesn't apply to us. Social services provided by faith-based entities. That's not us. That would be like churches. And then they want more information about that. If you've applied for a state grant and you've gotten any other monies, this is where you'd put it. Brief description of other compensation, so just describe that amount, if any. So then we have the business address, phone number, email. Date the business was established. So this is when you started. And remember, this information is in your tax return, so be sure to get what you've reported and is correct. Current ownership since. If the business was formed and maybe you bought it from someone a few years ago, then your current ownership started when you bought the business. For most people, this is going to be the same. Now you want to select the activity that your business falls under. So for a lot of my 1099 people, you'll come under personal services. And then you can choose a more detailed option once you make that selection. Don't spend too much time stressing about this. There are only so many options. Try and find the thing you best fit into and just move on. Now the number of employees. If you have none, put 0. Now, if the next button doesn't turn blue, something's wrong. So if we look through, we can see I have an error here because I'm missing a 2 and it was still red. So next we have business owner's information. So is your business owned by a business entity? We're going to say no. But that could apply if you have an LLC and then maybe you have multiple LLCs within it. Sometimes people do that with real estate. Then you would put yes if one of your owners is a business, or if 100% of your business is owned by another business, even if you own that other business, right? Put in all of the information about the owner or agent, the person filling this out, who's representing an owner. And ownership percentage, if you're a 1099 worker, self-employed, you 100% own your business. Put in where you are born, that you're a U.S. citizen, where you live. Then you can add another owner if there is another one in your business, and then click Next. Now you can see we're on our last page here. They want to know if you've had any criminal offenses, if you've been involved in a riot or a civil disorder. They want to know if you're suspended or disbarred from contracting with the federal government or receiving grants and loans. So that can happen if you defaulted on a past loan. And then some last questions about getting in trouble with the law as well. We'll say no here. If someone helped you complete this, you'll put their information in here. So here you can give someone permission to talk to the SBA about your loan on your behalf, which it can be likely that they follow up and ask for some documentation. We don't really know if that's happening or not yet, but we know that they're entitled to do that. Now, you don't want to miss this. This is where you check the box. I would like to be considered for an advance of up to $10,000. And then you enter your bank account information. Now you are going to certify, so be sure to read through this, that you're fully telling the truth, that you need this money, and check here. And then you're going to be able to click Next and finish up. You want to save your confirmation number and everything on that confirmation screen in this summary. So that's all. That's how you fill out the application. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you liked this video, give it a like so that YouTube knows, and share this with anyone you know who needs to get access to some money. They've been affected by the pandemic. They don't have income right now. You can be a 1099 worker, self-employed, and apply for this grant as long as you've been affected, as long as you need funds to replace your income, you haven't gotten on self-employment yet, or it doesn't cover what their income was. I have many other videos on this coronavirus funding, so check them out in the description below this video. Again, share it with someone who needs it. And if you're new here and you enjoyed this, consider subscribing by clicking the watermark in the bottom right corner. And if you click the bell, then you'll be notified when my new videos come out. That's all. I hope to see you next time. Bye.